Hello, everybody. Movie Watcher 123 here, and today we are going to be talking about the best and worst moments of Ed, Ed, and Eddy for the second time. Once my friends join in, we'll get started. Now, let me put the link. There we go. All right. I provided the link. So please join in whenever you're ready. Okay. While we're waiting, I'm going to put down the first episode. Let me see. Here's the first episode. Dear Ed. Now, in this episode, after the Eds find Jimmy with Plank due to a feud between him and Johnny, they make new friends for Johnny at a cost. So, yes, Johnny and Plank had a bit of a feud with each other, so Jimmy offered to take care of Plank until they reconciled. But Johnny soon realizes that he misses Plank and he wants him back. But then the Eds thought it was okay to get Johnny a new friend. Although unfortunately the friends that they get for him did not turn out so well. But in the end of this episode, Johnny and Plank are back together after apologizing for what happened earlier. I find this episode okay to watch. Yep. Anyway, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Now then, which episode to talk about next? Okay. Alright. Here's the next episode. Eeny, meeny, miny, Ed. Now, in this episode, when Eddie tells Ed that Double D is not human since he is so smart, the Eds get invited to a barbecue at Naz's place, and Ed thinks it is a ceremony to transform kids into bugs. Yes, you heard that right. They were invited to a barbecue, but Ed thought it was something else. Yes, he can be dim-witted at times, but seriously, it's just a barbecue. I mean, come on, really? A barbecue, not a ceremony to transform kids into bugs. Anyway, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. One of my favorites. Right. Excuse me, be right back. Hey guys, I'm back now. And if you have any episodes of Ed, Ed, and Eddy you wish to talk about, feel free to drop your ideas in the comments below. Or if you're here in the StreamYard studio with me, always put them in the private chat. Let me see here. What else is to talk about? Alright, here's an episode that I know you'll definitely like. So here it is. This won't hurt an Ed. Now, you're probably wondering, what's this episode about? Well, here it goes. It starts out as Double D was in the nurse's office, being the nurse's assistant, making sure that everything is organized. You know, the medical supplies, the files, everything. But then Eddie and Ed start causing trouble and try to mess everything up until one of them starts crashing into the filing cabinet a cabinet, excuse me, and knocks all the files on the floor. And I mean, come on. Double D just organized those things. When Eddie picks a file up, he starts reading through Kevin's personal file and learns that Kevin has a fear of needles. Yes, you heard that right. Kevin is afraid of needles, which Eddie and Ed start to use against Kevin. So they make up a made up day called Booster Shot Day, which scares Kevin so much. Unfortunately, it was not Booster Shot Day, and the whole school was at an uproar because of their insidious prank. Yes, in the end of this episode, Kevin was not afraid of needles anymore, and Eddie just became the next person to become afraid of needles. Wow, what a fraidy cat. I mean, come on. He can't be afraid of needles just like that. Now, just a second. Anyway, I give this one, Her and Ed, a 10 out of 10. You know, Eddie is one of my favorite characters of Ed, Edd and Eddy. Give me a second. I gotta write something down. Okay, let me see. What else? What else? Oh, I got another one. Here's the next episode, which I know you'll like. Fa la 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 Ed. Now, in the beginning of this episode, Eddie and Ed were playing around upstairs at Double D's house, which Double D told them not to because it's strictly off limits. So later in this episode, Eddie and Ed were making a mess around his parents' bedroom. Eddie was scratching the floor. Ed was messing around with sticky notes. And when Ed bounced on Eddie and came back down, Eddie strikes Ed with an oar. causing him to crash into the closet. When he was there, Ed started playing around with some bubble wrap, and then after that, he caused a ancestral fruitcake to crash on top of Double D. So they decided to have Christmas or celebrate Christmas, but unfortunately, it's July. Christmas wasn't until December. Let me see here. So yes, they decided to celebrate Christmas early, but unfortunately, Christmas was not until December, like I said. So, in the end, nearing the end, Eddie got a huge bag of jawbreakers. You know what jawbreakers are, right? Those big, huge candy balls that are too big to put in your mouth. How do they make those things? So, in the end, unfortunately, Ed accidentally gave away all the jawbreakers that Eddie just purchased with the money that he earned. And that made Eddie very, very mad. So that's that. Ed gave away all the jawbreakers, and that pissed Eddie very off. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Yep. What a shame. What a shame. Now, which one? Now, here's the next episode. The Eds are coming. The Eds are coming. Now, in this episode, it begins like this. Jimmy was just sleeping, having a good dream, enjoying life, talking with his friends, eating good food, the sweets. But unfortunately, that sweet dream turned sour when aliens start invading the cul-de-sac, causing Jimmy to have a nightmare, thinking that they're real, but they're not. Unfortunately, the aliens started carrying part of the cul-de-sac away along with Sarah in it. Jimmy had a nightmare from eating bonbons the other night, but unfortunately, he didn't realize that they gave him nightmares. So later in the episode, the neighborhood kids saw what appears to be a strange, ominous green glow coming from Rolf's house. Believing to be aliens, they decided to go investigate what's causing it. but unfortunately it was not aliens. And so it was just Rolf's family having like an event, like a family get together. So there was no aliens at all, and all the neighborhood kids can breathe a sigh of relief. But in the end of that episode, the aliens came back and they took part of the cul-de-sac with them. Wow. Yep. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Give me a moment. All right. Like I said, whoever wants to join can do that. If you have any episodes of Ed, Ed, and Eddy you wish to talk about, kindly comment down below. Or if you're here in the StreamYard studio with me, comment in the private chat. Let me see here. What episode to talk about next? All right. Here's the next one. Pop Goes the Ed. Now, in this episode, let me find it. When the cul-de-sac is hit by a heat wave, the Eds crash Naz's sprinkler party in Speedos, which snap off. Now, here's why. The Speedos that the Eds had on were too small, so unfortunately, they broke off, hitting several party guests in the face, leaving them completely naked. The Eds, not the partygoers. Hang on a sec. Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'll be waiting. I probably should have told you that The Eds Are Coming is actually a two-part episode, but still, it's a good one. As for Pop Goes the Ed, I give it a 10 out of 10. Okay, while we're waiting for Rails of El Paso, Texas to come, I'm going to finish writing down the previous episodes I just talked about so I don't get confused. Oh, you're back now. Well, I'm ready. Pop goes the Ed. All right. Let me see here. What episode to talk about next? Ah, I got another one. Here's the next episode. Sir Ed a Lot. Now, in this episode, Ed has to babysit his younger sister Sarah. Ed and Eddy, well, Double D and Eddy, show up and reluctantly join Sarah's tea party. The Eds spend the rest of the afternoon trying to please, quote, Queen Sarah and Prince Jimmy, who torture them for amusement. Note: this episode contains both the first mention of Rolf's name and the town of Peach Creek. So, yeah, in the beginning of this episode, Eddy was just like doing some work on his new car when Kevin and Naz came up to him, and Kevin asked Eddy, whose car is this? You know, Kevin, he refers to the Eds as Dork, Dork, and Dorky. Ha! Dork, Dork, and Dorky. That's a good one. Oh, in case you're wondering, I've provided the StreamYard link, so feel free to join in when you're ready. Sir Ed a Lot. One of my favorite episodes. But things were starting to go way out of control when Sarah starts acting crazy by throwing stuff and making a mess of the house. And oh, hang on a sec. Someone's coming in. Ah, here it is. Hello there. Hello. Ah, okay. Let me see here. Oh, hang on a sec. What's in the private chat? Oh, okay. I understand. Take some time to fix it. Let me see here. Huh. Let me see here. Oh, must be having to fix something else. All right. Now, let's see. What other episode to talk about next? Oh, in case you're wondering, I give Sir Ed a 10 out of 10. All right, on to the next episode. Let me see here. Ah, I got another one. Next one is A Pinch to Grow an Ed. Now, in this episode, after Eddie is made fun of for being short, Double D invents a pair of elevator boots for him. Eddie is enjoying himself until the cankers show up and ruin everything. So, yeah, Eddie was getting tired, like sick and tired of being made fun of because he was short, that he wants to become taller. So Double D came up with an idea to invent elevator boots so that Eddie can become taller. Everything was just going fine until the cankers show up and ruin everything. So they took the remote that controlled the elevator boots and they were growing out of control. They got so tall that it plummeted Ed, Double D, and Eddie into outer space until Lee Kanker, the leader, breaks them, causing the Eds to fall down. Hang on a sec, be right back. Right back, you guys. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. So, the Eds fell from outer space, crashing into the ground, while Eddie fell into a baby carriage that Jimmy and Sarah had. So, yeah, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Why not? Okay, on to the next episode. Let me see here. If you have any episodes of Ed, Ed, and Eddie you wish to talk about, you know what to do. All right, here's the next episode. Vert, Ed, Go. Now, in this episode, the Eds are beat after a bird steals their hard earned quarter. They soon spot a passing plane towing a sign advertising Joe's Clubhouse, which inspires them to start a club and charge for membership. Once again, however, the Canker sisters ruin the Eds' plans by taking over the clubhouse before the Eds make any profit. I mean, that is just wrong. All that hard work to make their own clubhouse, and the Canker sisters had to ruin everything. Again. I mean, come on. The Eds worked so hard to build their clubhouse until the Canker sisters had to ruin everything. Ah, well. In the end, unfortunately, Eddie tried to get it back, but he was sent flying out of the clubhouse into the thorny bushes. Anyway, if you guys were building your own clubhouse, make sure that no one tries to take over it. find the right material to build your own clubhouse. So I give Vert Ed Go a 10 out of 10. What about you guys? How would you rate that episode? Okay, on to the next one. Here's the next episode. Read all about Ed. Now, in this episode, Ed, aka Double D, is assigned an early newspaper delivery route to save up for an electron microscope. Eddie is immediately lured, thinking how much could be earned from multiple paper routes, but did not figure on Ed's incompetence or the sudden downpour. I mean, come on. It's not hard to deliver newspapers to people's houses. Yes, it can be difficult, but the sudden downpour can put a damper on that. And also, Ed was not able to do anything right. In one part of this episode, I saw Ed stuffing newspapers into a mailbox, but did not realize that he was busting through the mailbox, causing a whole mess behind it. However, in the end, a truck came with more newspapers and the Eds got buried in them. But, however, I find it okay. I give this episode a 9. And hang on, someone's coming in. Oh, it's him.
What's up?
Hey,
Hello? You hear me?
how you doing? How you doing?
Good? Do you hear me?
How
Hello?
are I can hear you. Is your mic okay?
Uh, I'm using headphones.
Oh, you're using headphones. All right.
Um, can you hear me better?
What's that?
Can Can you hear me better? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. No. Yeah. Testing, testing.
So,
uh,
how are you?
Good. I just got some trains yesterday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
How many did you catch?
Yesterday just to BNSF train. That's it.
I see.
If you're wondering why is there no camera, uh, my my computer my other computer wasn't working right, so but I had an extra computer, so yeah.
I see. Okay, let me see here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put down the next.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. Next episode, an Ed too many. Now, in this episode, after Double D gives Sarah a flower, she falls in love with him, abandons Jimmy, and follows him wherever he goes. So Ed and Eddie have to get her back together with Jimmy. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Ed, Edd and Eddy episodes. I I watched this show years ago, back in the 2000s, I believe, or was it the 1990s? I don't know. Anyway, I find this episode very entertaining. Do you watch Ed, Edd and Eddy?
No.
What?
Oh,
You there? Oh, hang on a sec. What's in the private chat?
no, my lips broke.
Oh, your mic broke.
No, bro, no. No, no. It's my life. Yep,
Ah, I see. Okay.
oh my god. Yeah, dude, I'm a pig. I'm not. I'm a pig. I'm a. You're so stupid. You're so muy stupid. Oh, ah, ah, hello. Hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, it's back. I don't know why it did that. No.
Did you get it fixed?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, all right.
Oh my god, that scared me.
Now, now, in Ed Too Many, Eddie and Ed tried to like. Wait a minute. Ed and Eddie have to get Sarah back together with Jimmy after she keeps following Double D around. Apparently, Sarah has fallen in love with Double D after giving Sarah a flower. So Jimmy misses Sarah and wants to be with her again. So, nearing the end of the episode, Eddie and Ed and Double D brought Jimmy and Sarah back together so they can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Oh, oh my god.
Yep,
I'm sick. I'm so tired.
you tired.
Kind of. My belly woke up at like 10, 10 in the morning.
Okay.
In the morning. Yeah. Huh?
Well, in the end of this episode, Ed felt hungry again. So I give this episode a 10 out of 10.
Well, the only thing I could say is I wasn't born yet, but if I was born, that year and watch it every day, I would give it a 10.
Ah, yeah. It's one of my favorite Ed, Edd and Eddy episodes. I have the full series on DVD.
Oh wow. Um, what what what's the, what is that show or cartoon? What is that?
What?
What is that? A cartoon. What is that? Who's Ed Ed and Eddy? Who's that?
Well, I'm not sure.
You're funny, bro.
Okay, next episode. Let me see here. Secret. Ah, I got another one. Let me put it down. Okay, here's the next one.
Ed and
Ed.
Sid.
Now, in this episode, the cul-de-sac children are playing hide and seek, and the Eds participate in the game. They were all at home, just minding their own business when Johnny 2x4 comes in and starts looking all over the place for something or someone. It turns out that he and the other neighborhood kids were playing hide and seek, so the Eds want to get in on the game on one condition: they have to be it.
Okay, bro. I think I need to go. I think I might come back. I'm not sure though. But see ya, bro.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Anyway, let's continue on. I give Ed and Seek a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, excuse me. But hide and seek is a game where the person who is it has to count to 10 while the others hide. So the seeker has to like find the hiders. Yep. Hide and seek is a fun game. Everyone plays it. Anybody can play it. Anybody. Anyway, I give, yes, like I said, Ed and Seek a 10 out of 10. All right. Next episode. Here is the next episode. Look into my Eds. Hang on a sec. Now, in this episode, after another scam of Eddie's failed, Double D receives a psychology manual in the mail with a hypnotizing wheel inside, with which Eddie controls the cul-de-sac children until the Kanker sisters controls the three. Yep. So Eddie was looking through the psychology manual until a hypnotizing wheel came out. Double D took a crack at it, and it works. A simple snap and the person is hypnotized. Yep. In the end, the Kanker sisters managed to get control of the Eds and turn them into dogs. All right. I give Look Into My Eds a 10 out of 10. All right. All right. Next one is Tag Your Ed. Now, in this episode, after Kevin and Rolf ridicule Double D for being physically weak, Eddie decides to toughen him up by putting him through a training program, which leads to a wrestling match with the Kankers. So, Double D was trying to pick up a football. Unfortunately, he was being made fun of because he couldn't do it. So Eddie decides to toughen him up by putting him through like a training program. Yes, a training program to try to toughen him up. Unfortunately, it led to a wrestling match with the Kanker sisters. So, in the end, the Eds were defeated by the Kanker sisters in the wrestling match. So, I give Tag Your Ed a 10 out of 10. All right, let me see here. Next one is, here it is, Fool on the Ed. Now, in this episode, Eddie is the best prank master in the cul-de-sac until a mysterious, quote, prank master starts pranking all the children. So the Eds try to figure out who this prank master is. But it turns out there was no prank master at all. So they try to come up with their own prank. The Eds came up with a humongous stink bomb. As they were flying it out of the garage, it got stuck. So the Eds tried to push it out, of the garage by whatever means necessary. Unfortunately, it exploded and the stinky smell started spreading everywhere. That was a mistake. Wow. Yup. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Still a good one. Still a good one. Okay, I'm going to talk about one more episode, then I'm going to end the stream. Alright, let's see here. Here's the last episode, guys. A boy and his Ed. Now, in this episode, Kevin tells the Eds he wants to give them something. However, Eddie does not believe him and sends him away. After finding out that Kevin was actually giving out jawbreakers to all the children, the Eds try various attempts to befriend him in order to get jawbreakers. Unfortunately, Eddie was so dumb that he did not know that Kevin was giving away jawbreakers. But when they went to his house, well, Kevin's house, they saw his garage was full of jawbreakers and wanted to get one for themselves. So they tried to do whatever it takes to learn about Kevin and befriend him so that they can get jawbreakers as well. However, in the end, they did not get into the garage full of jawbreakers. They ended up in Kevin's bathtub instead. That was a low blow. A very low blow. So I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Why not? Okay, this has been a wonderful live stream, guys. I'm glad that somebody actually joined, but couldn't stay for long because of technical issues. I'm going to come up with another live stream to do for next Saturday. Hopefully someone will join this time. And I've decided to move my live streams to Saturday because Sunday I'll be at church. So anyway, I'm glad that somebody joined. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay beautiful.